Hello fanciers. Welcome back to the Game Dog Caribbean channel. The content you experience here is fictional and for entertainment purposes only, something like a Harry Potter book, or the story of the Avatar, The Last Airbender and content of that nature. Please like, comment and share this video and click on the bell icon to be notified whenever new content is posted to this channel. For this episode we will recount the hunting trials that took place in the fall of 1923. For this event, the ESK team was bringing back out their two-time winner Riddler to capture their championship ribbon against the HGK club who sailed from north to be a part of this event, and their friends from the FLK and 36C team. ABMK was also bringing back out their champion Vendetta for number 4 against the BSK team's one-time winner Draw team. The card was set for 15 action-packed events, and hunters from across the land and sea were present in the woods. These hawk hunts were an effort to place a control on the escalating wild hawk population in the area at that time. The farmers and hawk hunters had a very good working relationship, and it culminated in events such as the one we will report on today. Day 1. Show number 1. SKKs Execute vs ABMKs Bossy. Males, set at 54 pounds. Referee, HRK. This was the first time these clubs were partnering on a hunt, and they were using some prospects to get the job done. Bossy was the brother to champion Vendetta, 3-time winner, 2-time BIS, 1-time QPA, and SKK was rolling out one of their sand dogs. At the scale, SKKs Execute, 52 pounds, 08 ounces. ABMKs Bossy, 49 pounds, 03 ounces. Both camps were within the weight stipulated and the hunt was on. From the release, Bossy was all over his boar, hitting the catch in any place left open, while Execute was off to an early defense on his boar's head and ear. Execute managed to get his boar to the mat briefly but could not maintain his dominance. Bossy on the other hand was the stronger and faster hunter on the trail, beating his boar to the punches. Handles were achieved at the 20-minute mark with Execute to scratch. He completed his scratch and the hunt continued. Another handle was achieved at the 25-minute mark with Bossy to go. Bossy made a very convincing scratch, ramming his boar into the side of the trail. The hunters completed another 2 scratches each before Execute stood the line at the 26-minute mark. Winner, ABMK's Bossy, one-time winner in 26 minutes. Show number 2. DWK and the Nation's John Wayne vs MK's Crunch. Males, set at 46.5 pounds. Referee, DDK. For this hunt, DWK was bringing out a direct son of CCK's champion Castro, 3-time winner BIS, while the MK club was bring their prospect to get the job done. At the scale, DWK and the Nation's John Wayne, 46 pounds, 6 ounces. MK's Crunch, 45 pounds, 15 ounces. Both camps met the weight requirement and the hunt was on. From the release, John Wayne was all over his boar, hitting it in the throat, shoulders, and chest, while Crunch was having a much more difficult time trying to subdue his hog. This was the nature of the exchange for the first 20 minutes before Crunch got onto his boar's head in an effort to keep him out, but he was not able to capitalize on it. John Wayne on the other hand was taken out by his boar briefly before he continued to dominate the hunt once again. John Wayne was the faster and stronger catch dog on the hunt. As a result, MK threw in the towel around the 37-minute mark and completed a bolting courtesy. Winner, DWK and the Nation's John Wayne, one-time winner in 37 minutes. Show number 3. LWK's Satham vs CMK's Criminal. Males, set at 43.5 pounds. Referee, HGK. For this contest, both clubs were bringing some prospects to the trial to get the job done. At the scale, LWK's Satham, 43 pounds, 3 ounces. CMK's Criminal, 43 pounds, 7 ounces. Both athletes met the contracted weight and proceeded to the wild boar arena. From the release, it was an even exchange for the two hunters, swapping holds with their boar all about the body, trying to establish dominance. There were no out of holds until the hour and 10-minute mark, after which it was Satham to go. Satham completed his scratch and the exchange continued. Handles were achieved again at the hour and 12-minute mark with Criminal to go, and after some hesitation he completed his scratch. Criminal was showing good strength and conditioning on the trail and gaining a lead on the LWK Hunter. Another 2 handles were achieved before Satham stood the line just over the hour and 20-minute mark. Criminal then scratched to win after hesitating briefly on the line. Winner, CBKs Criminal, one-time winner in 1 hour and 21 minutes. Show number 4. DVK and the Nation's Hhk Crow vs CBKs. Author. Males, set at 42.5 pounds. Referee, HGK. For this event the DVK team was bringing out a direct son of champion Red Crow, 3-time winner, 2-time BIS, while the CBK club was bringing out a prospect of their yard blends to get the job done for their hunting debut. At the scale, DVK and the Nation's Hhk Crow, 42 pounds, 1 ounce. CBK's Author, 42 pounds, 1 ounce. Both hunters made the contracted weight and the hunt was on. From the release, Hhk Crow was beating his boar to the punch and extending a lead early on the hunt, while Author was having a more difficult time with his boar on the other side of the trail and hitting the mat early out. A fang was called around the 27-minute mark with Hhk Crow ready and anxious to continue. The hunt continued for another 13 minutes before CBK threw in the towel at the 40-minute mark. Winner, DVK and the Nation's Hhk Crow, one-time winner in 40 minutes. Show number 5. Esks Riddler, 2-time winner vs FLK/36C/HGK Bodyguard, one-time winner BIS. Males, set at 41 pounds. Referee, HRK. For this hunt, the ESK team was bringing back out their 2-time winner Riddler dog to try and pick up their championship title against the one-time winner BIS Bodyguard that sailed in for the event. Riddler was bred down from some old school BWK and old man blood, while Bodyguard was a direct son of DVK's Lion that picked up his first ribbon in another circuit before returning to his home circuit to face the Riddler. At the scale, Esks Riddler, 40 pounds, 15 ounces. FLK/36CS Bodyguard, 40 pounds, 2 ounces. The hunters were within the weight specified and the hunt was on. From the release, Riddler hit his boar in the shoulder but was taken out in short order by the boar. Bodyguard on the other hand was off to an early defense, trying to keep his hog out and staying out of trouble on the head. He was backing up and spinning out of the way of the charging boar for the first 3 minutes on the trail. Riddler eventually got back in on his boar, showing good mouth on his boar's shoulder and stifle. Bodyguard on the other side of the trail was still having a difficult time with his strong and rough wild hog on the hunt. By the 28-minute mark, the Bodyguard handler asked for a scratch to continue, which was granted, but on the way across Bodyguard collapsed on the trail and they threw in the towel. Riddler on the other side of the trail was eager and vocal, ready to continue the hunt. Winner, ESK's champion Riddler, 3-time winner in 29 minutes. Show number 6. KIK's Rocket vs DDK's Steam. Males, set at 39.5 pounds. Referee, HRK. 2 prospects were hitting the trail for this contest. At the scale, KIK's Rocket, 38 pounds, 8 ounces. DDK's Steam, 39 pounds, 8 ounces. From the release, Rocket was all over his hog, showing some dominance early on the hunt, while Steam was having a more difficult time on the trail. Steam picked up the pace shortly after and dominated the hunt until about the 10-minute mark, where the exchange evened out on the trail. Rocket was going to the head and front end while Steam got into his boar's shoulders. Rocket eventually moved to his boar's legs but favored the head more often, while Steam was moving from his boar's shoulder to back end. Handles were achieved at the 29-minute mark with Rocket to go, and he made a very convincing scratch and the hunt continued. Handles were made again at the 35-minute mark and Steam completed an explosive scratch to continue on the trail. At the 42-minute mark, handles were achieved again with Rocket to go. Rocket started off but made an about turn halfway across the trail and headed back to his handler. Steam then made a bolting scratch end the hunt. Winner, DDK's Steam one-time winner in 42 minutes. Show number 7. GCK's Bite Up one-time winner versus SKK's Fire Pin. Males, set at 39 pounds. Referee, HGK. For this hunt, GCK was bringing back out their one-time winner Bite Up that was a direct son of F and SK's champion ambulance 3-time winner GIS, while the SKK team was bringing out a Crow Tombstone bred prospect to get the job done. At the scale, GCK's Bite Up, 38 pounds, 8 ounces. SKK's Fire Pin, 38 pounds, 8 ounces. From the release, Fire Pin was all over his boar, hitting any spot left open, sending his hog into an early protest from the mat. Bite Up on the other hand was overpowered by his wild boar from the onset and began protesting on the trail. By the 15-minute mark, Bite Up was on all four and bringing it to his boar on the face and muzzle, but this did not last long. Fire Pin on the other side of the trail continued to dominate. A turn was called and acknowledged on the Bite Up dog and handles were achieved at the 40-minute mark. Bite Up completed a convincing scratch and the exchange continued. Fire Pin on the other hand was in control of his boar for the most part, and after another 4 scratches the Bite Up hound stood the line just before the hour mark. Fire Pin then completed an impressive scratch to end the hunt. Winner, SKK's Fire Pin one-time winner in 1 hour. Day 2. Show number 8. HHK and the Nation's Marco versus HGK and the Crew's Skilly Ben. Males, set at 39 pounds. Referee, DDK. The last time these clubs met, the HHK team used their chrome mail and outhunted HGK some years back, and their weights never corresponded again until this event. At the scale, HHK and the Nation's Marco, 39 pounds, 1 ounce. HGK and the Crew's Skilly Ben, 39 pounds, 1 ounce. Both hunters breached the contract by 1 ounce, so it was a wash and the hunt was on. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle, with Skilly putting his boar to the mat early while Marco was on an early defense. By the 3-minute mark, Marco figured his boar out and proceeded to dominate his hog in any place left open, while Skilly was having a more difficult time with his boar on the trail, defending on the head and front end more often, and eventually began to protest. The HGK team requested a scratch to continue, which was granted, and Skilly completed a very convincing scratch. Marco on the other side of the trail was steady pushing his boar, showing good strength and ability. At the hour and 30-minute mark, handles were achieved and Skilly completed another convincing scratch and the exchange continued. By the hour and 32-minute mark, handles were made again and Marco completed a convincing scratch. The exchange continued and they completed another 3 scratches each, but Marco was slowing down on the hunt. By the hour and 47-minute mark, a scratch to continue was requested by the HHK team, which was denied. By this time Skilly was edging ahead on the trail, showing good endurance and energy. By the hour and 52-minute mark, handles were made again with Marco to go, but he was unable to continue. Skilly then completed an impressive scratch to end the hunt. Winner, HGK and the Crew's Skilly Ben one-time winner in 1 hour and 52 minutes. Show number 9. DVK and the Crew's Monster versus SKK and the Nation's Vendetta. Males, set at 37 pounds. Referee, DDK. For this hunt, DVK was bringing out the notorious monster dog that surrendered the deposit on a previous hookup with HHK's champion Tyson. SKK on the other hand was using their prospect prepared by the big yard to get the job done. Monster was a direct son of DVK's lion dog and Vendetta was a product of local blends. At the scale, DVK and the Crew's Monster, 37 pounds, 8 ounces. SKK and the Nation's Vendetta, 37 pounds, 1 ounce. Both hunters were over the contracted weight, so it was a wash and the hunt was on. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle, with Monster hitting up his boar in the shoulders and back end, while Vendetta was off to an early defense trying to keep his boar out by the muzzle. Monster continued to hit up his boar in any spot left open, shaking viciously on contact, while Vendetta on the other hand was putting up an effective defense on his boar's muzzle and face, keeping his hog out on occasion. A turn was eventually called on the DVK hunter and handles were achieved. Monster completed a convincing scratch and the exchange continued. Handles were achieved again by the 50-minute mark and Vendetta completed a very convincing scratch. By this time, the monster dog was on the other side of the trail, often driving without a hold, while Vendetta was picking up a lead on his side of the trail with his face and muzzle shots, which seemed to be frustrating his boar. Monster got distracted on his next time to go and took off into the inactive side of the trail before his boar picked him up. The exchange continued and Vendetta proceeded to dominate on his side of the trail. Handles were achieved again near the 57-minute mark and Vendetta completed a very strong scratch to continue the hunt. Handles were achieved again at the hour and 7-minute mark and the monster dog stood the line. Vendetta then completed a bolting scratch to end the hunt. Winner, SKK and the Nation's Vendetta, one-time winner in 1 hour and 8 minutes. Show number 10. Wsek and the Nation's General vs CK's Lodge. Males, set at 34 pounds. Referee, HRK. For this hunt, both hunters were bringing 2 prospects to the trail to get the job done. At the scale, Wsek and the Nation's General, 34 pounds, 1 ounce. CK's Lodge, 32 pounds, 10 ounces. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle, with General showing some early dominance, getting all over his boar with much speed and power. Lodge on the other hand was off to an early defense, having a much more difficult time with his boar from the mat. Lodge eventually regained his footing and got to his boar's legs on occasion. Handles were achieved near the 45-minute mark with Lodge to go and he completed a convincing scratch. Handles were achieved again at the 50-minute mark with General to go and he made a very convincing scratch and the exchange continued. General was showing good strength and ability on the trail in dominating his boar, while Lodge was having a more difficult time on the hunt. Handles were achieved again at the 57-minute mark with Lodge to go and he refused to continue. General then made a bolting scratch into his boar to end the hunt. Winner, Wsek and the Nation's General, one-time winner in 58 minutes. Show number 11. ABMKs champion Vendetta, 3-time winner, 2-time BIS, 1-time QPA vs BSKs drop-in, 1-time winner. Females, set at 45 pounds. Referee, HGK. For this hunt, ABMK was bringing back out the great and devastating champion Vendetta to pick up their 4th ribbon on the local circuit. Vendetta was a direct daughter of ABMK's Alkaline and she had outhunted 3 camps on her campaign thus far at various weights. BSK was bringing back out their 1-time winner drop-in that picked up her first ribbon at a major even last season and was now en route to stopping champion Vendetta in her tracks for number 4. At the scale, ABMK's champion Vendetta, 44 pounds, 9 ounces. BSK's drop-in, 44 pounds, 15 ounces. From the release, both handlers were actually hesitant to release, but after the event manager started a count, the hunters were released and they both met their hog in the middle. Drop-in got an early start, going to her boar's legs and shoulder and shaking viciously, putting her hog to the mat early, while the champ was off to an early defense trying to get her boar out by the head and muzzle. It was not long before Vendetta regained her footing and started to display her strength and speed on the hunt, hitting up the boar in the shoulders and any place left open. Drop-in on the other side of the trail was intent on going to her hog's back end, but her hog's length and strength prevented her from doing so more often. The exchange continued with Vendetta establishing dominance all over her hog, causing damage to the front end, face, and leg guards, while Drop-in was having a more difficult time on the trail. The champ began heating up on the trail and eventually started going out of hold to recover. Drop-in on the other hand began hitting the mat more often but maintaining holds where she could on the wild boar. A turn was called on Vendetta by her handler at the 35-minute mark and handles were achieved soon after. Vendetta completed a very explosive scratch, ramming her boar into the corner. Drop-in was on the other side of the trail, fading but still putting out a convincing effort on the hunt. Vendetta established a lead on the hunt, beating her boar to most of the holds, showing good strength and ability. The BSK team eventually threw in the towel at the 40-minute mark, and Drop-in attempted a courtesy but was unable to continue. Winner, ABMKs champion Vendetta, 4-time winner, 2-time BIS, 1-time QPA in 40 minutes. Show number 12. PTK and the Nation set vs OTFK's Lisa. Females, set at 39 pounds. Referee, HGK. For this hunt both teams were bringing out some prospects to the trail. At the scale, PTK and the Nation's set, 39 pounds 3 ounces. OTFK's Lisa, 37 pounds, 8 ounces. From the release, both hunters met their hogs in the middle, with Lisa showing good strength and speed despite being the smaller animal on the trail, and beating her hog to the holds for the first 5 minutes on the trail. Set on the other side of the trail was having a more difficult time with her boar, trying to keep it out from the mat. By the 7-minute mark, the exchange grew even and they were exchanging holds with their boars any place left open. By the 15-minute mark, Set was ahead on the trail and dominating her hog with good mouth and ability. Lisa on the other side of the trail was fading and having a more difficult time keeping up with her boar on the trail. At the 31-minute mark, the OTFK team threw in the towel and Lisa completed an impressive courtesy scratch. Winner, PTK and the Nation set, 1-time winner in 31 minutes. Show number 13. LGK's Miley vs SDK's AIDS Gill. Females, set at 37 pounds. Referee, HRK. For this hunt, the SBK team was bringing out their AIDS Gill prospect that was being prepared by the DWK team to partner on a hunt with the LGK team, who was bringing their Miley prospect to the trail. At the scale, LGK's Miley, 37 pounds, 3 ounces. SDK's AIDS Gill, 36 pounds, 12 ounces. The breach was overlooked and the hunt was on. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle, with Miley showing good strength and ability on the hunt, trying to subdue her boar while AIDS Gill was off to a rough start. By the 5-minute mark, the hunt evened out and both hunters were on their feet exchanging with the wild hogs. At the 20-minute mark, Miley began to slow down on the trail while AIDS Gill was establishing a lead on the trail. By the 25-minute mark, Miley began hitting the mat more often and AIDS Gill was in full control on her side of the trail, dominating her hog. Handles were achieved with Miley to go and she completed her scratch. AIDS Gill on the other side of the trail continued to dominate the hunt. The hunt slowed down and handles were achieved again at the 29-minute mark and AIDS Gill completed her scratch. At the 31-minute mark, handles were achieved again with Miley to scratch, but she refused to continue. AIDS Gill then scratched to win, ramming her boar into the side of the trail to end the hunt. Winner, SDK's AIDS Gill, 1-time winner in 32 minutes. Show number 14. DWK and the Nation's Cardi B vs BFK's Lucy. Females, set at 30 pounds. Referee, DDK. For this hunt the teams were bringing 2 prospects to the trail. At the scale, DWK and the Nation's Cardi B, 29 pounds, 3 ounces. BFK's Lucy, 31 pounds, 3 ounces. BFK surrendered the deposit but DWK overlooked the weight difference and they made their way to the trail. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle with Cardi B all over her boar while Lucy was having a more difficult time with her catch on the trail. Cardi B was showing good strength and speed while she was having her way with her hog. Lucy on the other hand was off to an early defense as her hog was launching a vicious attack out the gate. By the 8-minute mark, Lucy figured out her boar on the trail and was managing to keep her out on the muzzle and head. Cardi B continued to drive for her boar's front end and stifle, but when she got in her boar would take her out by the muzzle. Lucy on the other side of the trail began controlling her hog by the muzzle and moved the front legs whenever the hog hit the mat. Cardi B began showing signs of fatigue on the hunt and hitting the mat more often. A turn was eventually called on Cardi B and handles were achieved at the 47-minute mark with Cardi to scratch. She completed her scratch, but she had clear damage to her muzzle guards and her boar continued to dominate on the trail. Handles were achieved again and Lucy completed a convincing scratch. The exchange continued and Cardi B continued to fade on the trail. Handles were achieved again at the 54-minute mark with Cardi B to scratch and she refused to continue. Lucy completed a bolting scratch to end the hunt. Winner, BFK's Lucy in 55 minutes. Show number 15. Wsek and the Nation's Bella one-time winner BIS vs PWK's Sassy. Females, set at 28.5 pounds. Referee, HGK. The last time these clubs met, the PWK team used their Piranha female and outhunted the Wsek team's Patchy. This round PWK was using their own game blend while the Wsek team was using a direct daughter of their champion Red Crow. At the scale, Wsek and the Nation's Bella, 28 pounds, 14 ounces. PWK's Sassy, 29 pounds, 6 ounces. Both hunters were in breach, so it was a wash and the hunt was on. From the release, both hunters met their hog in the middle with Bella working her boar's shoulder and throat, while Sassy was trying to get her hog out by the head and face after a vicious first contact. Bella was showing good strength and ability on the trail, hitting up her hog in any place left open, while Sassy was trying to keep up on the other side of the trail. This was the nature of the exchange for the first 30 minutes, and by the 40-minute mark handles were achieved with Sassy to scratch. Sassy was eager to continue on her side of the trail and completed a bolting scratch. Bella on the other hand was put to the mat briefly but continued to dominate the hunt shortly after. Sassy began protesting on the other side of the trail as a result of her boar's shoulder and front end attacks. Handles were achieved at the 48-minute mark with Bella to go and she completed a convincing scratch. The exchange continued to slow down and Sassy continued to have a difficult time with her hog and protesting on occasion. Handles were achieved at the 55-minute mark with Sassy to go and she completed another explosive scratch, eager to continue on the trail, but her hog would still eventually overpower her with strength and ability. At the 57-minute mark handles were achieved again with Bella to go and she stood the line and refusing to continue despite the lead she had on the hunt. Sassy then completed another explosive scratch to end the hunt. Winner, PWK's Sassy one-time winner in 59 minutes. The settlement of all confrontation. BIS male, ESK's champion Riddler three-time winner BIS. BIS female, SDK's AIDS Gill one-time winner BIS. GIS male, HGK Skilly Ben one-time winner GIS. GIS female, BFK's Lucy one-time winner GIS. BCD male, DIK and the Nation's Z Crow, one-time winner BCD. BCD female, PWK Sassy Girl one-time winner GIS. QPA, ABMK's Bossy one-time winner QPA. Thanks to the hunting clubs for providing inspiration for these fictional accounts. Thank you for watching and continue to tune into the Game Dog Caribbean channel. Until next time, the best place to begin is square one, and remember, good dogs are where you find them. Be sure to comment, like and share this video and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we post new content.